So in this video, I wanted to give you a little example of how I work with dynamic EQ. And I'm going to show you here using a FabFilter Pro Q3. So when you're mixing and you want to reduce frequencies, it could be, something is muddy or harsh or some harmonics that are annoying you. You can do this in two different ways. You can either use static or dynamic EQ. And static EQ is simply the classic way of finding a frequency and bringing it down and leaving it there. A dynamic EQ, on the other hand, will only dip that frequency when needed, when it goes above a certain threshold or when it's too loud, and it will stay down only momentarily, right? And then back up again. And the good thing about that is that when the frequency is not being troublesome, it will be left alone. And neither static or dynamic EQs are better always. I think in general, static EQs are better for tone shaping and that kind of stuff, while dynamic ones are better for problem solving and for grabbing wild frequencies and spikes in sounds. But if you want to dig deeper into this topic, I talk about this in my ebook as well, The Art of EQ. And I've actually added a free copy of it in the description below. So feel free to grab your copy and let me know if you have any questions. And in chapter 10 of that book, I talk specifically about this topic in depth. And whether I use dynamic EQ or static, I always start by sweeping through the material first to search for that frequency that I'm looking for, because usually I hear it before, something that is bothering me with the sound. So with that in mind, I will sweep through that area and I will use a narrow Q and the gain all the way up. And when I find the frequency, I will take care of it. If I use static EQ, I will dip it a couple of dB. If I want to do it dynamically, I will engage dynamic EQ. And then I bring it down to 0 so that there's no reduction, because I only want that reduction to happen when it's needed, right? And then you set the range to whatever value you want it to be. For me, it's -2 roughly. And that means that the EQ will never reduce that frequency more than -2, for example. It's kind of like a limit. And when that frequency is not being troubled, the EQ leaves it alone, which is beautiful. So let me show you how I do this without talking. All right, and as I said before, I've added a free copy of The Art of EQ in the description below. And thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. So, bye-bye.